Shown below are the scores 16 students received on a math quiz. What is the median of this data set? We're going to do this together. So we had 16 students. If I go to the middle, I can either cross off like we did in the first example, or I can count that over here and over here. I split those both into 8. So here's the middle. So 73 plus 74, and then divide that by 2. If I add those, I get 147, and then if I divide by 2, I end up with 73.5 for my median. What about the range? Do you remember how we find the range? We take the highest minus the lowest, so 98 minus 52, and when I subtract those, I get 46. Part C asks what is the median of the lower half of this data set. We split this data set into 2 parts when we found this median. This is the lower half, and then the other side is the upper half. So I want to know what's the middle of the lower half. If you find the median of the lower half, you end up with 66 and 68. So if I add those together, 66 plus 68, and divide it by 2, I get 134 divided by 2, which ends up being 67. The median of the lower half is called the lower quartile. You're also going to see that called Q1. The lower quartile is the middle of the lower half of your data set. Now if I do the same thing with the upper half of this data set, that's what's called the upper quartile, or Q3. So if I go ahead and find what that actual value is, I have 82 plus 84 divided by 2 to find my median. When I add 82 and 84, I get 166. Divided by 2 gives me 83. The last part on this question asks, why are quartiles important? What quartiles do is they separate my data into 4 pieces. If you think of the word quarters, there are 4 quarters in $1. There are 4 pieces in 100. Each piece represents 25%. So each quartile is 25% of our data. Each quartile is 25% of the data. The other thing it does, as you'll see in tomorrow's lesson, is it helps us draw our box plots. Read question 5 to yourself and see if you can answer part A on your own. You should have gotten that the median value was 26. And then if I find the median of the lower half, or Q1, the lower quartile, that number is 18. And the median of the upper half, or the upper quartile, Q3, should have been 37. Part B asks, what are the ages of the youngest 25% of the employees? So as we mentioned, the quartiles split our data into 4 pieces. Each piece is 25% of our data. And I'm not counting those numbers exactly in the middle. So the youngest 25% are these first 3 ages, which are 16, 17, and 17. Then part C asks the opposite of that. What are the ages of the oldest 25%? That's the top 25%, which are 40, 42, and 44. You have now finished the end of your notes for measures of central tendency. Go ahead and ask for your homework.